Welcome to the Cult Classic Horror Show. Every week, you can have the conversations you've always wanted to have about the films you love.
Shut up!
We're gonna get you. Not another peep.
Get rid of your distractions and prepare yourself.
Then lock your door. 5, 6, gonna cruise up pigs.
You got a big surprise coming to you. You're not going anywhere.
Welcome everybody to the Cult Classic Horror Show. Danny Bonin here with you.
And Scotty Bonin here with you guys.
We are the Blood Brothers. Not in the same room. And
Me.
Just
little old me.
Little me.
Always little old me.
God, I actually bought this movie, but
Me
I was going to
too.
just rent it, and then I asked my wife, and I was like, I could buy this piece of shit for the same price as renting it.
Yes.
And as soon as she said, "Please don't buy it," because then every time she'll go to like our video library, it will now be the first thing that pops up.
It's in order of when you bought.
Yeah, so I had to buy it. So now every time she logs in, so now every time that she logs in to Amazon Prime to watch like Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil or whatever, some of her favorites are, Leprechaun in Space will pop up now.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I bought it too because it was the same price as renting it on Amazon. So, I mean,
You can't pass up that deal.
You can't.
mean,
you just can't.
No.
And you know, one of these days,
it's all a trick so that they can somehow justify making another new Leprechaun movie. Oh my God, they're look at these, look at it. They're scrambling for it. People are just, they have to have it.
People are buying this up Amazon from everywhere.
Look at these. They're not even renting it. They're straight up buying these things now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, you know me. I already bought the Blu-ray set. So
yeah, you watched this with commentary too, huh?
I did. I have to watch all these movies twice. I did it almost right in a row too.
I commend you.
I watched half of
Nobody made you do it.
I watched like the first 30 minutes of Leprechaun 4 last night, and then then this morning after the gym before the kids woke up at 7:30, I watched another 30 minutes, and then when Shannon got home and the kids weren't around, I watched 30 more. I watched the rest of it, and then I went right into the commentary and watched it again with commentary, and then I watched a featurette right after that.
Wow.
Yes. It causes you to enjoy the movie a little bit more, to look back on it with a little more appreciation.
Do you really appreciate this movie, though?
You know what?
Loving Dr. Mittenhand even more.
It was a fun time. It was just sort of fun. It was like
I have to like interject because one of my really good friends from high school. I'm just gonna change. Well, no, one of my really good friends from high school, Patrick. I just won't say his last name.
Oh, okay.
But you know how like Freddie Torres trolls the whole group because he's a super Jason fan.
Oh, yeah.
And so am I. Michael Myers sucks.
Yeah, well, but let's not even. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing that no one's on the plane of comparing Jason to Ash, because that would be no go.
Well, no, I mean,
anyways,
Ash is a hero, and I he's the best. But no, like there are people out there that like Critters, and there are people out there that like Chud. There are people out there that like these movies, but you really don't have fans of some of these movies, because they're kind of just so off. Patrick is an actual fan of the Leprechaun.
Oh,
It's
Like I texted him a picture of my Amazon screenshot, and I said rent or buy. He goes, well, I mean, it's a classic. And so I came back. I said, well, it'll be featured on Cult Classic Horror, but a classic maybe not.
yeah.
Then he immediately comes back. He's at work, and he immediately comes back. Sir, there's a space princess, Dr. Mitten Spider, a urethral leprechaun. There's no other word. He knows this movie by
oh my
heart.
God.
Like,
Wow.
you know what I mean? Like he knows. Like when we did. Well, I missed out, but when I was watching, when we did Leprechaun Part 2, that was the one where he puts the coins on her belly and makes her sneeze.
Yeah.
He knew that already. I'm like, I got to do Leprechaun Part 2. He's like, oh, you're gonna love it. This is the one where if she sneezes 3 times. I'm like, how do you know? He knows every one of these.
Oh
movies.
my God.
And then then he comes back. It might have been. Then he comes back. Now, granted, it doesn't reach the level of Leprechaun 2, and he goes over like the boob death and all these things. And I mean, it's incredible. Like, it's just the first person I met that's like a legitimate fan. He might as well be like a fan of Puppet Master.
Well, that's what isn't Robin Party a fan of Puppet Master?
He's the one that caused all that.
Yeah, I
You should
think.
have your friend Patrick listen to all of our episodes.
He listens to everything. I can't. I mean, like
Oh, nice.
he's at work right now, and he's just texting me back like he knows these movies by heart.
That's great. Oh my God. Even like probably watch them over and over again and doesn't even need to watch them. Just knows like every point.
Like I told the story about how he's the one that wrote the letter to Warwick Davis inviting him to the family.
Yep, that's right.
He's the one. I always took that story as very funny. I'm going to write a letter to Warwick Davis, like in a way that's kind of almost poking fun. No, he's a legitimate fan of Warwick Davis. It turns out, because he knows these movies by heart. That wasn't a joke. That was like for real. So it's just crazy. And then it leads me to my next point of the movie. It's skipping ahead, but. That final scene where she got her pants ripped off, was I the only one that kind of wanted to see her and the mitten spider get it on?
That was
well.
awesome.
I mean, sure. Why not?
I don't know about her and Mitten Spider getting it on. It was a nice move of him pantsing her. That was great. And then like the hiked up high, like
Yeah, we've just skipped so far ahead.
Well, I mean, we can skip ahead. I mean, we can go right back and start from the beginning.
Well,
it redeems it all.
But I mean, we just have to get this. We have to get this like out of the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like I kind of feel that it would have been kind of hot to see her and the spider.
I don't think the spider was pleasing to
spiders.
look at whatsoever.
Well, no, but I mean, I just something.
Would
I mean,
it have
he's got all them tentacles like hentai porn or something.
Would it
Yeah.
have been like hairy? Like, do spiders have like little feeler hairs? So the penis been all feeler hairy and like it goes in, but if it comes out, it like tears the skin off. Something like that.
Like a cat's penis?
I don't know. What does a cat's penis look
Yeah, it's
like?
penis. You can't even ever
It's
see one.
got hooks and barbs on them.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I'm fairly certain. I mean, I'm not Googling
Cat
anything
penis.
right
Someone
now.
Google cat penis.
See,
Well, you're
yeah.
right there, Scotty. You have better internet than
Well,
Danny.
I don't really want to. I just don't want that to show up on my history.
Google cat penis here. Let's see.
So I don't really want to know what that's all about. But
Yeah. It looks like a little thumbtack.
Oh.
You could say. Yeah, it doesn't look too pleasing.
Okay.
It's very tiny, but it's a little lipsticky as well.
Church, you want to come on over to Judd's house anytime, and I've Googled cat penis, and I wouldn't mind if that little cat penis was all up in my ear canal.
Oh my god.
You got that, Church?
Got it, Judd. God, get the fuck out of here. But the picture of the cat penis, you can't really ever see it. It just kind of like hangs there, and it's just covered with fur. So that's probably why.
It's like Rob's penis.
yes.
Exactly.
Can't
Yes.
ever really see it. Just hangs
No,
there.
but I think the the Dr. Mitten Spider with the tentacles, it'd probably go in like every orifice and hole of Tina, so it'd probably be pretty sexy.
Yeah.
I must say.
Well, I want to go back to I said it was a fun time, but really what I mean, really this you hear this all the time, but this really was one of those movies that's so bad it was hilarious. And after watching with commentary and going through a featurette, that was sort of their goal and aim with this movie anyways. So
yeah,
they weren't taking it too seriously. And
I actually love this user review on IMDb. It says, exquisite. Leprechaun 4 is a rare film that take you to a place you never knew existed. In this case, it's the world of everyone's favorite leprechaun who has somehow ended up roaming around in space and decides to terrorize some unsuspecting travelers. The acting is horrendous. The special effects are ultra cheesy. And the story, well, what a story. So that pretty much sums it up for me too. It was fun, but
you know what? I don't think some of the acting wasn't that bad.
Yeah. They did have Heidi from Tool Time in it.
Yeah, I do have that note here. And
and I was pretty disappointed that we didn't see Heidi's jugs.
Yeah, I thought that was going to happen, but it didn't. Apparently, she just got engaged right before that. So, and her husband came to set, or married, and her husband came to set often.
Oh, so he's the one that stopped all that.
He's probably no boobs on there. So
was Heidi the one that played Tina, or was that the one that played like Dolores?
What?
No, it was Dolores.
Yeah, Dolores.
Dolores was Heidi.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Debbie Dunning.
Okay. Look, originally it was Pamela Anderson.
What?
That was the original Tool Time girl.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
Then I believe in '93 they traded out for Heidi, who is Dolores. And then she left, and they brought Pamela Anderson back.
Oh.
And then we see what happened to Heidi's career.
Yes.
This movie was 97.
6.
Yeah.
It was 6, I think. It was filmed in 95.
Filmed in 96, it released in 97.
Well, the director was getting his years mixed up on the commentary. So yeah,
sure, it's all a blur for this poor director.
Yeah.
And Richard Smith.
They caught him. He directed Leprechaun 3 as well, and same producers to Leprechaun 3 and this one as well. Maybe even the same writer. I didn't quite look, but I thought they were working together again. So if you watch it, you see that it has the Lionsgate logo at the beginning. Well, this is sort of the part where Trimark was sort of no more, and Lionsgate took over and acquired the Trimark library. So I think technically the rest of the Leprechauns from here on out are put out by Lionsgate. Although this one still had Trimark in the credits, so I don't know if it was happening during the filming of this or what, but that's what happened.
When did Heidi leave Tool Time?
And Trimark's not even a film company anymore, right?
No.
They're done. Yeah.
I don't believe so. And I think so. First of all, let's talk. I mean, obviously, just horrid, absolutely horrible CG stuff in this movie.
That huge meteor when the movie starts, it's like, oh my god!
I mean, you just know right away.
I'm going to say that the worst part of this movie, despite like the lighting in the caves and stuff, which was very reminiscent of Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
Yes.
The Revenge of Bubba.
Yes.
Was anytime they did the rays or the force fields, the shrink ray. It was just and the acting was. We'll say the acting was subpar.
Some of them did good.
Yeah.
It definitely was not the acting that you would get from Danny and Scotty in the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Of course not.
Danny was like going like full Hannibal Lecter in those pictures.
Oh yeah, you got to.
Pretty awesome.
He was changing.
Yeah.
They look great. Somebody needs to superimpose Danny's head onto my body. For those pictures for the horror halftime. He's like really scary looking.
Okay.
Just this overweight guy with Danny's crazy eyes and crazy hair on top. But anyway, these actors had to react to probably some of the worst props and sets ever made.
Oh my god.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like, you kind of feel bad for them because they run in there. It's like, it's a force field on this Lego ship.
Yeah. I mean, I've got plenty of notes on all this stuff. I mean, just even to start, you'll notice that all of those horrible CG effects, most of them weren't even in high def. They were all pixelated and shit. And they did these digital effects last. They had a total of $80,000 for all CG effects. And it just they couldn't afford to do them, I guess, in high def, so they had to be done in video, is what they said. And because this is going straight to VHS anyways, and so yeah, they were just super pixelated, like his hand flipping him off out in space and stuff. Like, it's super pixelated.
Yeah, so great.
The giant hand. I felt like I was in Black Bart's hideout at Casa Bonita when they were doing those cave scenes, or just like a theme park. Like, you go through whatever at like Disney World, you go through like the Indiana Jones like line to get to the ride. I felt like that was like the caves.
I felt like when they were in the bacteria chamber or whatever, the trash chamber.
Yeah, I do like the writing for that scene.
I think they just literally rented out a laser tag place.
Yeah,
and filmed it in there.
I wouldn't doubt it. It looked like it. It looked exactly like a laser tag place.
when they blew the Leprechaun up, when he got like the growing big ray, like you said, like the pixelation and everything on it, it was absolutely hilarious, because that's what it looked like. It looked like they just took like it looked like they took like a projector screen and just, you know what I mean? And they just adjusted the focus to make him bigger, and it started to get blurry and out of focus. Like, it was hilarious.
They just took the overhead projector and rolled it backwards further in the classroom.
And
yes, exactly. It looks just like that.
So pixelated. Like, what the fuck?
All right, I'm gonna like sort of start from the beginning here now. With some of these notes I have. So, it's so apparent. I guessed this before I even listened to any interviews or commentary, but Brian Trenchard Smith basically used what he called the Aliens formula, or the Aliens Matrix, because this movie is modeled directly after Aliens, if you didn't notice that. I mean, they got...
Don't like it.
Well, the aliens didn't have a princess.
Yeah, well, right from the beginning, you
or
open
a
up...
leprechaun.
You open up, there's Marines getting ready. There's a female that comes in that is added to the team, that no one wants there. You have Abe Pone is the sergeant there, or whatever. And here they are hunting an alien. I mean, you have motion trackers, once they started talking about that work almost the exact same way. I mean, you have the ship self-destructing at the end, which he also said he took from Aliens. Originally, when they pitched this script, it's sort of funny how it all came about. They were at some kind of like holiday party for Trimark or something. It was like their company party. And someone had taken the Apollo 13 poster as a joke, and had like superimposed the Leprechaun's face on like Tom Hanks's face or something.
Nice.
Yeah, just as a joke, and had it up at the party. And then someone's like, like Leprechaun should go to space next. And then they just ran with it. Like, the director was like, yeah. And they got together and they pitched it in a meeting. And Brian Trenchard, the director, was like, but instead, so the original plan was to sort of model it after Apollo 13. I don't know what that would have looked like. I guess maybe some kind of first voyage to some planet, and then they experience this thing, but it's the Leprechaun. I don't know what that would look like. But the Brian Trenchard came in and was like, no, I want to go at it more just like Aliens, like this is Aliens, and basically said, I've rip off Aliens, but how many other movies have ripped off Aliens? And
I mean, you have the humanoid, which is the Princess Zarina, and then obviously the sergeant ends up being an android at the very end. The cyborg. She's like, oh, I was thinking the same thing when I saw. I'm like, this is very similar.
Yeah. So and Brian Trenchard said what sealed the deal when he was doing the pitch is how the Leprechaun gets on board. He's sitting in the pitch meeting. he's like, well, a Marine pisses on his leg, and you see like a green thing shoot up his pee stream. And it said everyone's like silent. They're like, okay. And he's like, and then
This works.
And then later on, he gets a boner, and the leprechaun comes out of his penis.
Oh my god!
And then he said there was silence. Then one of the executive producers was like, I like it.
Oh my god!
Let's do it.
That's so funny. And then that's one of my favorite lines when Dolores was like, I feel like it's my fault. I'm the one who gave him the boner. It's like, oh my god, this is awesome.
So yeah, that's sort of how it all came about and started. And Brian Trenchard Smith is not. As he's doing the commentary, he's like, yeah, these CG shots are horrible. And even in the featurette, a couple of the producers are like, yeah, the horrible CG shots. They did all of that last, so they're at the very end of their budget. They're at the very end of time, and they said they got what they could for $80,000. But I'm like, is that really like $80,000 got you that?
Yeah,
we gotta understand, like 60 of that $80,000 got embezzled.
Ah.
I mean, that's what I would have done.
Even in the credits, you'll see there's like Eric Trenchard Smith or whatever is credited as part of the spaceship design. He's like, oh yes, my son put in his 2 cents on the spaceship design, but then of course it got ruined because we didn't have enough money for CG. I'm like, are you sure it's not because your son handled the spaceship design?
Yeah.
No. I don't know anything bad about the boy.
He kept saying sub. He kept saying sub PlayStation. What'd you say?
Maybe $80,000 would go more of a longer way today with today's CGI than it back in '97. I
don't know. They said they were using previous year's technology, but that looked like they were using previous decades' technology.
Yeah,
so.
It was. I felt like I was in like a theme park with the red gel lights behind me.
I felt like I was watching a educational thing in school.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was bad, but like Danny said, it was like a good bad. Like it was so bad, it was entertaining to watch.
So you have the leprechaun.
It's awesome.
You have the leprechaun first appear in the cave. He's obviously captured some kind of galactic princess, and he's in a tux and a cigarette and all that, and he's supposed to resemble Alfred Hitchcock. I'm not really sure why.
I'm not really feeling Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, I didn't really get that till later. Yeah, not sure. 18 shooting days on this was their schedule. A couple pickup days after that, and
what'd they do with the other 14 days?
Yeah. They basically shot it all at it was a warehouse in Burbank that they rented out, or that was rented out by a company and made to be Front Street Studios. But they said they had to sort of create their own dressing rooms and all this, and the sets they used. Were so like the laboratory in the ship, the underground tunnels. A lot of these were sets that were left over, I guess, from. And he couldn't remember the name of the movie. Maybe you can Google it's not going to be anywhere. Leftover sets used for Leprechaun 4, but he said that they were left over from a movie. He couldn't remember the name, but it was about some kind of machine that people are in that tunnel down into the ground to find underground tunnels, and they're hunting something. He didn't know. So if anyone knows what the fuck that is.
Journey to the Center of the Earth?
I don't think it would be that old. I mean, isn't that pretty old?
I mean, they've remade it a bunch of times.
I don't know. But he said that they were left over from that film, and they were reusing them and redecorating them and everything. So
find it here.
Yeah, I don't know. But
and don't forget about the dance club room that was on the spaceship too.
The disco.
Yeah, the random disco room.
The disco.
Yeah, with like the Walmart glasses, the plastic ribbed Walmart, like the pool glasses, like growing up in South Florida, we had like 4 or 5 sets of these that only the kids were allowed to drink out of because they weren't glass.
Yeah.
And so when you dropped them by the pool, you didn't get glass everywhere. You get them for like 37 cents a piece.
They looked like pool cups for sure.
And they're all huddled around like the tiniest table that just looks like a desk.
Oh yeah, no. This is what a big budget will get you in horror movies, right here.
Yeah, well, big. I mean, they considered it small, but it was 1.6 million, 300,000 more than Leprechaun 3, which was 1.3 million.
God.
1.6 million here. So they originally wanted. They wrote the sergeant part for Arlie Ermy, who obviously declined.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he was on to bigger things by then. But apparently him and Brian Trenchard knew each other, were like sort of friends and whatever. And actually Tim Colacina, or I can't remember his last name, Tim, who played the sergeant role in this film,
Colcherry,
was actually originally cast to play the drill sergeant in Full Metal Jacket.
Oh,
Yep,
really?
but instead he was the door gunner.
Yes, but then they chose Arlie Ermy just after that because he had just come back from 2 tours of Vietnam and was dismissed because of shrapnel in his shoulder or something like that.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
yeah.
Arlie Ermy.
And so, they moved him to the door gunner. So he is in Full Metal Jacket as the door gunner and Arlie Ermy as the drill sergeant.
He actually has quite a lot of credits
Yeah.
on Wikipedia. Yeah.
So him for that, and then they wanted Brent, who played the main guy, Jasmer or something like that, I think. Or
Brent Jasmer is his name, but he played books.
He played books, and obviously he looks a lot like Stallone, and he does one of the reasons, sort of, why Brian cast him. And then he almost was going to have him like act like Stallone because he could do a pretty decent Stallone impression, but then he decided to scrap it because he didn't know what the legal repercussions would be. But during the interview, he's like, I sort of wish I would have just had him do it because it would have been very entertaining.
Yes. No, it would have been amazing.
Yeah.
It would have made the movie that much more better.
But I think he mentioned that Brent, he had a short run on The Bold and the Beautiful soap operas, and besides that, I think he's not an actor anymore. So
he hasn't done anything since 1998.
Are you trying to say that this movie did not catapult
I'm thinking
his career?
that the Leprechaun movies are almost a curse unless you're Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. Well, there's actually, I was looking, that guy that was in Leprechaun, Rick Peters, he's been in a bunch. He played Mooch in this one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's still doing stuff right now. And if you look at a picture of him, you're like, oh, yeah, I've seen him in tons of shit.
Brian Trenchard also talks about how there's like 2 or 3 crotch gags in this film, and then he went on to say that in mostly all his films there's at least 1 or 2 crotch gags. He's like, I'm not sure what that says about me as a director, but
so that you're a pervert.
Yeah. He said they put him in one of his first films in 1974. I forgot what the film was called, but at the time, or just before that time, crotch gags the ratings board wouldn't allow them, and finally they got around it in Australia somehow. I don't even know. You had to have it that bad. It was like the crotch underworld that allowed him to. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's funny.
I mean, he's deep into it.
Yeah.
That first crotch gag, the leprechaun knees him, and it's like a bell sound, like ting.
Yeah, that was my next note. He did point out the bell sound and say that that was him saying the leprechaun had brass balls.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just like or Alec Baldwin. That's what every time I hear brass balls, I think of that salesman speech.
Brass balls.
Which salesman speech?
Oh, from Glengarry Glen Ross, the Alec Baldwin. Coffee's for closers.
Oh. That's right.
Of course. It's such a great movie.
What's the movie called?
I think it's Glengarry Glen Ross.
Glengarry Glen Ross?
I believe so. Hold on. You gotta give me a second.
I've heard that quote, but
it's like he almost won an Academy Award or something, apparently, just for that. He gives this big speech about like the ABCs of selling. Always be closing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fair. Where's that? Yeah, Glengarry Glen Ross is the name of the
Glengarry Glen Ross.
That's it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I mean, I don't know why it's called that.
I've
never actually seen the movie.
All right. Well, speaking of Mooch and the laser tag set with the whatever the hell that actually was, the trash thing, There's just a lot of points in this movie and during the commentary where Brian's like, yeah, we didn't have enough money to do that, but we went halfway, you know. And so this was one of them when his suit gets cut and then they take him out and like instantly he's a skeleton.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes.
He was like, yeah, we would have loved to do some kind of partial bacteria eating away his skin, but we just couldn't afford it, so we just threw a skeleton in there.
So, like, he's instantly a skeleton right there after the door opens. Wouldn't she, like, wouldn't she get, like, burnt or crisped a little bit when she, like, steps and helps them out?
Does she, real quick?
I think she steps in the room for, like, a millisecond and helps them. Like, get out of there. But, you know, it's not, there's no holes, so.
Robert just started hosting a watch party for the Leprechaun.
Well, I just put it on and gonna put a link to the podcast in case people are interested in learning more about the Leprechaun.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, I see.
There's a lot of good.
Sometimes it's hard to find these movies to the Facebook loophole.
I know it's always titled something different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like this one's like the Leprechaun spelled L the letter 3 PR the letter 3 and con.
How'd you find it?
It took a lot of just like you have to do it like a certain way, like maybe not type the whole movie out. Like, how did I find Army of Darkness? I searched Army Darkness, and then of course, like, it filled in the gaps with all the other like weird, ridiculous misspellings.
Of course. Oh, holy
fuck me!
Holy shit on a stick! Wow, that means it's time for the horror halftime already.
Yikes!
All right, well, we do have a horror freak of the week, and that is Aaron Garcia. Mainly,
I watched this movie this time, Aaron.
Yeah, that's right.
I bought it. I even knew stuff about it.
Mainly for his Army of Darkness 2 Leprechaun to Rob watching movie meme.
Yeah,
that was my favorite. So
maybe I didn't say every little teeny tiny syllable, but yeah, basically I said it.
Basically, it's time for a rewatch of the whole Evil Dead series for me. It's time.
The whole Evil Dead series.
You usually do that once every few months, right?
Yeah. Well, I got to watch 1, 2, Army of Darkness, and then 2013.
Oh God.
Do you watch them in that order?
Well, I haven't yet. I mean, I never have. I've never like just done it in that order, like in a short span of time. I just keep rewatching random ones here and there.
That's me. I'll get like a craving for evil like either like 2013 or Army of Darkness or the original. I don't. Well,
you just
I don't
watch it then.
I have the original on my original one. I have commentary with only Bruce Campbell. And I've watched it like that probably 4 times because it's so entertaining with just him.
He's great. Yeah.
Anyways,
I just watched the opening scene from the 2013 over and over again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
While we're in the midst of the horror halftime, I want to give some shout outs to some patrons because you guys are fucking awesome. For those of you who don't know, we had a little competition, not even competition, but for anyone that became a patron before our last episode of Bloodsport, for each one, Carmelo had to take a shot right before the podcast, and he was a little slurry on it. He was a little slurry.
He was a little silent, more silent.
He was a lot of bit slurry.
Yeah, he was a little slurry, and not quite as talkative. I think he was zoning out here and there. So
still had some great points.
Yeah, you can listen to that if you're not a patron. Just go to patreon.com/cultclassichorror and subscribe at the $5 or more level, and you can have access to the Cult Classic Action Show. And actually, we're going to be doing another special before we release the next episode. I was just informed that Carmelo is going to give away a digital comic book for anyone who subscribes before we do the next episode. So,
that's right. It's like an internet comic.
Exactly, internet.
Yes,
comic.
Straight to you.
So I just want to give shout outs to people who took advantage and subscribed before the last episode. So I want to give a big shout out to Christopher Ellswick, who's awesome and is now a patron.
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
Shout out to you, dear sir. I want to give a shout out to Robin Party. Thank you, Robin, for taking the leap.
Heck yeah, man.
Thad Timothy, I want to give you a shout out, even a special shout out, because you guys might know that Thad writes blogs for us every now and then. So I already gave him access to the show just because he as a perk for writing blogs for free for us. But he subscribed anyways. So shout out to Thad Timothy.
You're
Thank
great,
you.
Thad.
And then shout out to Morgandale Wilson, $5 patron. Thank you, kind sir.
Thank you, Morgan.
And I don't know what is going on with Freddie Torres. This is like the third time he's been a patron, so I don't even know if he gets a shout out.
Well, I mean, you just
give him a
did.
shout.
because he keeps leaving us. Like the first time he signed up, it was like $50. I was like, holy fuck, who's this guy? And then I sent him all the shit that goes with it. And but then he popped up again, and now he's popped up again. So thanks, Freddie.
Great, man.
Don't quit on us this time.
We love you, man.
Cool. So yeah, those are the Patreon shout outs for this week. So get on it if you guys want to hear the Cult Classic Action Show. Not sure what we're doing next. Rob keeps trying to push his case for Goodfellas, even though it's not technically like an all-out action flick.
It's winning the vote, sir.
And we were talking about doing maybe a Nick Cage one, but Carmelo
Con
also
Air.
wants to do Death Wish, just Charles Bronson, the original. So we're trying to mix it up, you know.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with Death Wish just
Yeah.
because it's very cult classic.
I'd
for
probably
sure.
be okay with Goodfellas only because I own it, and I think I have like a special feature with commentary, so it would be an easy go-to for me. Anyways, all right, that concludes the horror halftime.
I want to say I also loved Aaron Garcia's sex bot meme too. So, so get those memes in for this one for next week.
All right. Let's see. Laser, I already talked about that.
There's a little Star Wars homage there with the lightsaber with the Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Like, there it is.
That was another part where Brian was like, yeah, he sliced off both his legs there. And we could have showed the limbs, but we just didn't have the money.
Yes.
It kind of like shows up because Warwick Davis was in Star Wars Return of the Jedi. And,
as Ewok.
Yeah, as Ewok. That's his most
And
notable.
Ewok, I should say.
Wicked.
If you really think about it, though, there really were a ton of effects of practical effects on this movie. I mean, Gabe
The
Bartolos.
spider was pretty impressive.
Yeah, Gabe
the
Bartolos
spider
here
was
again.
really-
He's worked on all the Leprechauns. And yeah, he said that this was the most so far. You had the spider, obviously, Spider Mitten. You had, I mean, the Leprechaun, of course, which is enough in itself. But you had all these guys. The Leprechaun blowing up a couple times.
Yeah. Well, even just Dr. Mitten with him on that machine.
Yeah.
And all that shit that he was attached to and his body coming up out of there. And
Which, if you look in the scene when you meet him, and I didn't notice this until the director pointed it out, you can see, because obviously his other arm is like bent behind him.
Yes.
You can see his fingers when he lifts the one arm he does have. When he like lifts it up to do something, you can see his fingers from behind him, like his arm is behind his back.
oh, yeah.
It's pretty.
I wonder how they did that. That was pretty cool. I was trying to like look real hard to see where his head was coming up because obviously that was all prosthetic in front of him.
Yeah. Well, and then
Obviously-
anything from behind is a full prosthetic mechanical thing. It's not him because then you would see him.
Yeah.
Another thing in that scene that gets revealed is when I first watched this, I didn't even think this is what it was, but when the door raises and he comes out behind him, there's like a window out to space.
Oh yeah,
And it's just like
fake
light.
stars.
What the director says is they're light bulbs on a black background, and it looks like total shit. And he said that too. And it looks so bad that on my first time watching the movie, I didn't even think that's what it was meant to be. I thought it was just supposed to be like a lighted wall, you know.
It was in the ship or something.
Yeah, and he's like, "There's the space background. That's horrible. I guess we should have done something different."
Oh my God. All these he looks back now, in 2014 or whenever it was recorded.
Yeah.
Oh my.
They talked to Warwick about, Brian was saying how he was just glad that Warwick did it because the makeup is a lot. It's a lot to go through, and he's not getting paid tons of money, especially these direct to VHS ones. And But they interviewed Warwick, and he's like, "Oh, I just can't let it. I just couldn't have someone else play the character, and they are fun, and I'd miss out."
Yeah.
And
I could totally see that. I wouldn't want to see anyone besides him either. So, and with him already doing the first three, it's like, nope.
Well, and he did say that with the makeup and everything, that he spent a lot of time rehearsing in the mirror just to know exactly what each facial expression would look like, and so he'll rehearse these lines or monologues with different facial expressions until he gets something he likes, and so then he's worked with the prosthetic on his face, and he knows what to do.
He didn't have as many rhyming riddles in this
He
one.
didn't have any, I don't think.
Like none, right?
He had one in the very beginning, but it was very long and drawn out. It was and it only rhymed at the end. Like, I mean, he was just almost just talking to himself.
It was probably they worked in a lot of Shakespeare in this, but reworded it slightly or converted it, and that's what a lot of his lines were. A lot of his lines were riddled with Shakespeare stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, he is British. So.
Yes. A lot of the set was just moved around to create different environments, especially when they were hunting each other in the dry ice, steam and pipes and things like that. They would just move them around to create different areas. And they used a lot of like junkyard parts and just junk that they found to build the sets out of in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I mentioned that the acting wasn't horrible. There's some seasoned actors. I guess the guy playing the doctor is like a seasoned actor, especially on the BBC. And, but I thought
Guy Sinner.
Yeah.
Or Siner. He's been in a lot. He was in like Pirates of the Caribbean, and he's still doing stuff right now.
He's a stage actor.
I
mainly.
am Dr. Mittenhans.
Mittenhans. I think
They give him like a thick German accent.
Yeah.
Maybe like a little like a little nod or whatever at like Joseph Mengele or something. He sounds like some Nazi scientist this whole movie.
Yeah. Well,
leave my ship.
I think he said something about either playing those parts before or being able to play those parts. So yeah, Nazi scientist was exactly what was mentioned. And if anything, though, I thought that even though he's sort of this veteran actor, I thought he was way over the top. But I guess it fit this film. I don't know.
The guy that played his assistant, he's been a few things. Was it Harold or something? Or I think that's what his name was, Harold. The nerdy geek guy that gets picked on a lot.
Yeah,
I think it was Harold.
Tries to grab her spiked boobs when she's not looking.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna slip my hand right up this nice hole right here.
Oh, God.
And as he gets 3 inches away,
I can see what you're doing.
What are you doing down there, Doctor?
yeah.
Nothing.
So, anyways, but the rest weren't too bad. I thought I thought it was the director said that what's her name that played the main girl?
Jessica Collins
said this. She was sort of like the no, not her. Sorry, the girl that played the princess.
Oh yeah, that was Rebecca Carlton.
He's like, she was the Paris Hilton of her time. I don't even know what that means.
She was in like Baywatch and stuff, and did a lot of stuff in like the '90s. But I thought Jessica Collins was better. I thought she was sexier and just did a better job acting wise. I don't know.
What does that mean, Rob? Paris Hilton of her time.
I mean, I don't know.
Isn't Paris Hilton like only famous because she's
rich?
Like some porno leaked of her or something like that?
Yeah, leaked.
Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, she had like a porn tape that got leaked, and then obviously
isn't
her
that
parents.
How it started? I mean, yeah, it's because her parents own Hilton, but isn't that how any mention of her started? Is just some video got quote unquote leaked?
I mean, my celebrity gossip is really not at its peak. I mean, like if you ask me questions about the Jersey Shore, I could be able to answer it probably.
Yeah,
I thought
I'm
watched.
Never really a big fan of. I know she had a TV show.
Yeah, she did.
I thought you
But-
watched, what's that show I always forget the name of daily?
Which one?
What's the one I always forget the name of where they're standing around talking?
Judge Judy?
No, where they're standing around talking about celebrities and gossip and shit.
Oh, E News.
Entertainment Tonight?
No, they're like in the office. They're all like
TMZ?
in TMZ. Yeah, fuck. I always forget the name.
I used to watch TMZ a long
I
time
always
ago,
forget
but-
the damn name of that show.
Paris Hilton was in House of
isn't
Wax.
isn't that guy like a lawyer that
Who,
owns
TM?
TMZ?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
Here's what he was. He was the court reporter for Judge Judy.
Really?
Yeah, he was the guy that would like interview the people, like, you know, how do you think the case is going or whatever. I swear to God that was him. I've watched enough Judge Judy. I know.
How have you? I can't watch that trash. How have you watched enough Judge Judy?
Oh God. I mean, just, you know, daytime TV
my-
or Home Alone and
What?
Judge Judy's on and you watch it.
No.
Yeah. Yes.
That's my, my mother-in-law, because she watches the kids sometimes and house sits for us when we're gone on vacation. And I come home and all my DVR is just fucking filled with Judge Judy and Dr. Phil.
And
Well,
soap
that's
operas.
And
kind
soap
of rude.
operas.
You can't really mess with somebody's DVR. That's not cool.
Well, whatever. It's there's a lot of room on it, but still.
That's
Here.
what Jessica Collins did. She went to do, well, she's doing soap operas still right now.
Wow.
And after this, and she actually won an Emmy for Best Actress for Young and Restless in 2016.
Ooh, I wonder how she's looking these days.
She looks pretty good still. She's 47. Not too bad.
Well,
But yeah, this was her first movie.
another thing that the director couldn't afford was to, we don't see Debbie actually fall when she's holding on to the platform. And
That
Leprechaun.
wasn't in the budget,
Debbie Dunning.
apparently.
Yeah, that wasn't in the budget either. So, yeah, as we were watching it, the director's like, yeah, I say we, like me and him were watching it together.
Yeah.
And,
Good friends
We
for-
have that kind of pull at Cult Classic Horror.
yeah, I just called him up.
Probably would. He's not busy.
I'm sure we could get him on an interview.
We did
like,
in-person
snap.
commentaries, is what we did.
Yeah.
We probably could. You know who I'm interviewing on Friday? Cradle of Filth, the black
Could it
metal
be
band.
Cradle Filth?
Who is
Yes.
Rob, you never heard of Cradle of Filth?
They're like one of the
They're like
most iconic.
they're like
black metal
the
bands.
biggest black metal band ever.
that? I'm not familiar with their works.
Good God,
Yeah.
I don't even listen to black metal really, and I know
I
who
don't
they
really
are.
listen to black metal either, but if you
I was able to interview them and or Wednesday 13, which I don't know who that was,
Who
but
the
that's
hell is that?
that's the stage name for the guy. He was like mainly in that band, the Murder Dolls, and something else, and I don't even know. He's some kind of performer.
Carmelo knew who Wednesday 13 was.
So, anyways, Friday morning interviewing Cradle of Filth for those of you who know who that is.
I thought it was Wednesday, more 13. No, I was joking.
Anyways,
All that matters is from here on out, we have to get an interview with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I don't know if I don't think we can attain that quite yet.
God, he's so dreamy.
We'll just cover like Donnie Darko or something and get him on the line.
Yeah, I
No,
don't know if he'll want to talk
I don't
about
want
that
nothing
one.
to do with Donnie Darko.
Nightcrawler.
Yeah, I
All
can do
around me are
Nightcrawler.
familiar faces,
Ah.
worn out places.
Right.
And
Isn't that the
That's
one where
like-
Patrick Swayze's a pedophile?
I find it kind of funny. I find it kind of sad.
The dreams that I am dying are the best I've ever had.
Ooh, Rob, a singer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just right there.
Should come to
I've
shows.
been listening to a lot of Billy Joel lately. I think I'm
right.
starting to find my tone.
The distributor. This is the second time we've heard this. Straight to VHS, they required nudity, and so Brian.
Did we get nudity?
Yeah, Brian. We got Princess Sparkly Boobs.
Yeah. She's like, this is your fate. And then shows her breasts. And
Remember
it
that?
means-
Oh my God, I
means
missed
death
it.
sentence.
No, you didn't watch that. You didn't watch the movie.
No, I did. Was it at the beginning or something?
No, it's towards the end. It's sort of towards the end. It's like
I
She
may
has,
have been. I may have been distracted.
what on earth? How could you miss boobies?
I was looking for
Sorry
it
about that phone ringing.
hard because I was like, "Oh my God, are we going to see Heidi's?" Nope. And then I was like, oh, the spider deep-ham. Like, oh, come on.
It was
we're so
before
close.
the spider.
We're going to see Jessica Collins.
It was before the spider.
It must have been
it was-
quick. It must have been very quick.
No, it wasn't that quick. She had a whole monologue while she had her tits out.
She
I wonder
said
if the version I got on Amazon is like.
Didn't Scotty get the same
I
version?
watched the same one. Yeah.
That one slipped. I did watch the whole movie, but that must have slipped.
See, it's a good thing about the movie. Now you can go back.
We are recording a day early, and like I don't like my wife's not here, and the kids are running around, so like I did have distractions.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, just so
Damn
you
it,
know,
I bought the movie, so I can go back and watch that.
just so you know, they require nudity, and Brian Trenchard Smith was like, "What is the most absurd, ridiculous way we can put nudity in this?" She literally just unclips her thing and pulls her breasts out, and then gives them a monologue of how they're all gonna die, and then clips her bra again and walks away. And
because of her kingdom, that's how.
well, then after she leaves the room, they're all like, "Huh?" And what's her name is like, "On the planet of whatever, when you are shown breasts, then you are doomed for death."
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I like what he did there. I wish I would have.
I can't believe you missed it. It was right. You know how they turned the sergeant into like an obedient slave or whatever?
That's where I kind of fell off. I'm going to admit, like I did. I kind of left, and I came back, and he was dancing in drag.
It was right before that. It was right.
Okay,
at that
well,
time.
so I figured out the gap. Okay,
You missed
my
the
bad.
boomers.
Yeah, my bad. Because I was lost when I came back, but I figured it's some kind of pixie magic from the Leprechaun.
It was,
and I just continued on.
Yes,
Yep.
it was. It was. So, anyways,
It's over you.
it did take 6 hours for Spider Mittened to get into makeup. Yeah, like 8 foot.
That was crazy.
It was just really, yeah, it was huge. It was huge. You know what they should have, if they could have taken that 80,000, and maybe this didn't go very far back then, and used it on models like they did with the Alien movies and with Star Wars, and just used miniatures for everything. I don't know why they didn't do that, because they did do it when the Leprechaun got all huge. Not the whole time, because when he was getting huge, and a couple shots when he was huge, it looked horrible because it was a composite where they slipped him in there. But then for some of the majority of it, they did have him on a miniature set where they rebuilt the set miniature style, and they had Warwick walking around in there all looking huge.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that stuff like looked decent, except for you could totally tell when he was picking up and putting down the boxes and stuff that they were light, because then they would like jiggle after he put them down and everything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was all right. And to get some of those tracking shots in that miniature built set, they had this 35 millimeter camera on a skateboard that was going back and forth.
I mean, they are resourceful, but it's because they embezzled all that money.
Of course.
Yeah. Of course.
The nitrogen freezing Spider Mitten was an homage to The Fly.
I kind of got some Fly vibes from that scene.
Yeah.
Definitely, when she kept backpedaling and then she ran to the nitrous, and then he's hanging there from all the spider web, like gooey spider webs and stuck sticks.
I don't really remember The Fly, so I don't know if that happens.
Well, I don't think
watch it again.
It's just similar because it's like gooey fly, or like gooey shit, and then the spider eats the fly, and it was kind of an homage for sure.
Well, so
those are pretty weak boobers. I'm gonna be honest.
Did you just go watch it?
Yeah,
they are weak.
1 hour, 5 minutes, and 55 seconds. We get some. I mean, honestly, out of all the people in this, I think that was intentional. He lined them up and is like, "Oh, they're going to want to see Heidi's and hers and hers."
Star.
No, well, yeah, it's more like the itty bitty titty committee.
Yeah,
I mean, those things are awful.
Yeah,
okay,
they're not
cool.
very.
I saw them. They're there.
Sweet.
I missed it.
They're not very awe-inspiring. They got glitter all over them.
She was probably the only one
but
willing to do it.
The
Yeah.
nipples are lopsided too. They're
Just
not.
like Glitter Gulch in Vegas from Leprechaun 3.
That's right.
So no one made No one made a Glitter Gulch meme. I'm upset.
I know. I was kind of surprised. They'd have to look up and Google the Glitter Gulch.
They still have a day before this is released because we're actually recording this on Tuesday. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So then they don't win the horror halftime. Then I guess.
No, they don't. No, we did it a day early.
Look, you should be getting your memes in by Sunday at the latest.
Yeah, come on. The reason they made this whole damn thing in the first place is because Leprechaun 3 came out straight to video and sold like 55,000 units. So that's a lot of money, I guess.
Wow, that's a lot.
But then they said that this one didn't meet their expectations. But they did say, he said it sold like 30 to 40,000 units or something.
Well, I mean, how much was a DVD? How much was a VHS in 1997?
Yeah, did they have DVD then?
Oh,
In
I
97?
think they did. When did?
I don't think they did.
Digital video disc.
Digital video
out?
disc.
Okay, hold on here.
DVD.
Oh, Danny
Danny
was right.
Ooh.
The first DVD audio players were released in Japan by Pioneer in late 1999.
Oh, ho, ho. Look at that.
But they did not play copy protected discs, so you couldn't. They didn't like play like pressed movie discs until July of 2000.
I see.
So definitely, it's not even a 90s thing at all.
No.
I think this was released in 2004 on DVD or whatever. I saw that when I was playing. I'm like, wait, 2004? There's no way this is 2004. This is 96. I'm like, oh wait, it was the DVD release. I see now. I see.
Okay, let's see here. How much did? How much did? Oh, good God! How much did VHS
cost in '96?
Well, it's hard
97?
to find. Like, let's see here. Often made studio tapes. Oh, good God! Says like up to $55 for a VHS tape in the '90s, but I mean I don't know if
maybe
it's
if it
super
was, like,
early
some
'90s
kind of
because
special
like you had like
edition.
Betamax. Here, how much
No way.
VHS in 1997?
It's okay, Rob. We don't have to.
Well,
know.
no, this is important.
Oh, it's all right.
I don't want to buy the Hunchback of Notre Dame on eBay.
Oh, what Disney version?
Okay, right here it says the 1997 Titanic VHS box set.
Well, that's a double VHS. You had two because you had to put in.
It said it said it was $39.99. So I mean,
Oh, okay. So maybe
but I mean,
20.
let's say Leprechaun goes for $19.99. And how many did they sell?
50. Three. Well, these they sold like let's say like 40,000.
Okay, so we got $19.99 times 40,000. Ooh, that's not good.
No.
That's only $800,000.
Oh, well, if the budget was one, I'm sure there were maybe some other ways to get income. I don't even know.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, maybe some TV. Maybe TNT had to pay him to show it.
Yeah,
it's true. I'm sure they got royalties.
I bet. I mean, I think home video did a lot of money back in the 90s. I mean, I'm sure it still does, but this probably made some pretty good money for sure.
So, anyways,
did you recognize the? Oh, Danny boy, the pipes. The Leprechaun was singing that.
I did hear that, yeah.
Pretty good one. Mm-hmm. That was after he cut his fingers off with scissors. That kind of made me cringe a little bit.
It looked like he was having some trouble there, though.
Yeah.
Okay, forget about Leprechaun. Back on the issue of VHS tapes.
Oh.
Well, this was a VHS tape.
A rare Sleeping Beauty sealed Sleeping Beauty
like one
VHS.
of those big plastic ones?
Sold for $50,000.
No.
Sleeping Beauty? Original?
No. Original. Sealed. Sold for $50,000.
That's ridiculous.
I
think I have that.
I wish I would have kept my original Disney big plastic one sealed.
Yeah.
Highest selling VHS tape of all time.
Those were worth some money.
Wow. All right. Well, that's all my notes I have on Leprechaun 4. So,
well, it was kind of funny that I mean, obviously this points like the Wizard of Oz again. Like they pointed out, what was it, Judy Garland from the last one, and they
Yeah.
were going to rip. But then the password was wizard because he says his quote. What was that quote again? I was just reading it. Damn it. Oh yeah, I'm like the Wizard of Oz. Am I not? Running things from behind a curtain. Only this wizard is not fake.
Oh yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then that scene was kind of funny. They're like, "Come on, think, Tina, think." Sorry, he's like the smart one.
Like they just come out with the password from just midair.
Come on, think, you got this.
Like there's no way it would be wizard. It would be like FRAG998 and at.
Yeah.
There's no way it'd just be wizard to stop the ship from shutting down.
Like type in scientist. No, damn it, that didn't work. Genius, not that one either. Wizard.
Yeah.
There it goes. That was great.
Yeah. Anyways, so
did you guys notice when the leprechaun blows up? I just writing my last couple here. When he blows up in outer space, he blows up and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then when he actually explodes, it's in like a backlit green room in like the ship, it seems like, and then it directly goes back to him floating, his like pieces floating in space. So it was like weird, like how it wasn't in space where he exploded.
You can also see the first time he gets shot / blown up, the posts holding his legs to his feet in the floor for a second there too. Yeah, but
I did notice his feet sitting there, but I didn't see the posts.
Yeah. And I mean, I had some other notes like I just sort of hate these because you hear them all the time. Like Tim was saying that his whole scene where he's dancing as a drag queen, and I'm not afraid to try anything as an actor, and he's dancing as a drag queen, and he's going back and forth between go sir, blah, blah, and then all of a sudden this is so much violence. He's like, that was all improv. Yeah, that was all improv. But I could include a couple of those things. But you just every fucking movie you ever look into, you always see like, oh, those lines were all improv. Oh, improv this. Oh, improv that. That was all improv. And you're like, is that really that interesting?
Yeah, that scene with the Sergeant Metalhead, dressing up and dancing. That was a pretty funny scene.
Yeah,
Sarge, are you all right?
So he did it in one take.
The mind of this director, or I guess the writer too. It's pretty cool, pretty imaginative for this one.
Yeah. You got any more thoughts, Rob?
Well, I'm looking on this website here, and a copy of Kevin Costner's Revenge mint condition
Never even heard of
VHS
it.
tape. It's pretty good. One of his earlier works, pretty good. Sold for $1,142.
Damn.
Okay. All right.
Little Mermaid. Doesn't have
These are some good facts.
Little Mermaid sold for $999. What's
Was
number
that
one?
sealed?
We got any votes on what's going to be number one? Number one most expensive VHS tape ever purchased. In sealed condition, it is a Disney movie. I'll give you that.
It's
So it's
not
not Sleeping
still
Beauty.
not Sleeping Beauty?
Nope, it's not Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, it must.
Turns out Sleeping Beauty was listed at that price. It did not sell at that
Oh,
Okay.
it must
Is-
be.
Peter Pan.
Is it? You said Peter Pan.
I said Peter Pan.
price. Okay, so Scotty's locked in at Peter Pan.
All right, I'm gonna lock in at. I'm trying to think like an old classic. I don't know. I'm locked in on Sleeping Beauty. Or sorry, not. Well, yeah, I'm still gonna go with Sleeping Beauty. Yeah.
No, Beauty and the Beast sold for $5,000.
Oh, darn
Wow. It sold. I was thinking about Beauty and the Beast at first, but then I went with a little more classicer.
Tale as old as time.
I figured y'all were going to get it because you did Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, you did that this last.
Number 2 on the list is The Lady Dracula. For 900 English pounds, it sold, which is probably like $1,200 US dollars.
All right. Well,
And Frankenstein's Castles of the Freak. Is that right? Yeah, Frankenstein's Castle of Freaks sold for $1,700.
all right.
That's
I've never
that's
heard
so,
of some
like-
of these things.
Yeah, I've never. But that's probably because they sold for so much because they're like underground tapes.
Well, yes. Anyways,
Anyways, Leprechaun 4.
Yeah, that was her. That was it. Leprechaun 4. We got three more left. We got 2 in the Hood and Origins, which I hear isn't too bad. So,
yeah. I'm excited to see the rest of these.
Yeah, it can't get any worse than this, can it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I know it's coming towards Valentine's Day soon, and that's in a couple days, and we've had some requests to do My Bloody Valentine. Not even requests, just like it's tis the season.
We just didn't really plan. But we're coming up on St. Patrick's Day too, so
exactly.
We had to
so this works perfect.
This one in. Anyways, all right, last segment.
What did you watch?
And I don't think I watched anything, especially since we're recording this a day early. I already mentioned Mother on the last podcast, did I just mention that on CCA?
You mentioned it on the last podcast.
Okay, yep. So no, I haven't watched anything besides Leprechaun 4 twice and a featurette.
Yeah, I didn't watch anything horror related. I watched Daddy's Home, the first one, but that's it.
How about you, Rob?
I watched. What did I watch? Well, I watched Velvet Buzzsaw.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so good.
It looks good.
It's good. A whole bunch of people in the group got their panties in a wad about it, but they're a bunch of whiny bitches anyway. They don't understand Jake Gyllenhaal. No, I mean I don't understand people that look at a movie that's poking fun at like high class art and expect the movie to be like life changing high class art. It was making it's very funny. Jake Gyllenhaal crushes it. Rene Russo is awesome. John Malkovich is awesome. Toni Collette is awesome. Super, super, super highly recommend. It's got some good gore in it, but I mean, it's supernatural. It's kind of like a ghost story mystery type thing. But no, it's awesome. Absolutely.
Is that newer?
It just came out on Netflix.
Okay.
The same writer and directors that did Nightcrawler did this.
Okay. I'll have to watch.
And I actually really like Nightcrawler. So.
Oh yeah, me too.
I thought it was awesome. What was the other one? I haven't started it yet, but the new series of True Detective looks friggin' great. And I rewatched Hereditary just because it's on Prime for free right now.
Did you get anything more out of it?
I mean, not really, but I think I like it more. I don't think I learned anything new, but watching it again, it's still just as good as it was honestly in theaters. So like if you missed it in theaters and you haven't watched it yet, because I think I told y'all, oh, you got to see it in theaters. It's like a theater movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, not really. I mean, it's still Toni Collette's friggin', she's a genius, and the movie is really, really good. It's a slow burn if you like that kind of stuff. I usually don't, but I thought it was really good. I watched it again, and then I went back and rewatched kind of in the background while we were like, picking up the house and doing whatever. I kind of touched on and rewatched Pet Sematary.
Nice.
The new trailers are out for the trailers are out for the new Pet Sematary. I think everybody already knows it, but Ellie, the 8-year-old daughter, is the one that dies in this movie. They already came out and said it before the second trailer was released, but they pretty much came out and said that a lot of the things that they wanted to do with the character coming from a toddler, they thought that it just wouldn't work. It'd be too cheesy or almost funny in a way, kind of how they were doing it. And so they had Ellie die instead of Gage. But I'm still super stoked to see it. I think it's going to be really, really good.
Me too.
So,
yeah.
But other than that, that's pretty much it. I'd say really, Velvet Buzzsaw was the only thing I legitimately sat down and watched, and it was great. I'll probably watch it again.
Sweet. Well, cool. That wraps us up for tonight.
Leprechaun 4.
Yeah, follow us at Danny Bonin, at Scotty Bonin, at O'Neilio Foros, at Cult Classic Horror, at CC Horror on Twitter. Go to patreon.com/Cult Classic Horror if you want to support us and get access to the Cult Classic Action Show, which is hilarious. And yeah, thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys next week.
See
Later,
ya.
guys.
Don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
Oh, yes. There will be blood.